Welcome to another episode of Sparks and Gleams. Today we'll be delving deep into a very interesting topic for our managers, leaders, and for those who dare to dream of arriving at the apex levels of their career or succeeding in business and other areas of life. We'll be talking today about being overwhelmed and still being in control during chaotic situations. Let me take that again. Being overwhelmed and still taking control of chaotic situations. So usually as leaders, you usually have a full day. You hear people say, oh, today is Monday, it's looking like a bad day, and all of those kinds of things. Working late, keeping late nights at work, working extra hours at home, working on public holidays just to meet up, and all of those kinds of things. So usually when you are a senior person, you are in management, your system or your life sort of flows like that. And this is global standard. It's happening everywhere in the world. Everybody's dead busy. Everybody's overwhelmed. It's chaotic. And, you just have a lot of meetings. Sometimes you're in meetings. You're not even coordinated. You get on your WhatsApp to respond to certain things, which is work related, and all of those kinds of things. So what am I bringing to you guys today? So yes, it's a fact. It is clear. It is there. It is our reality. Being in management is a big deal. It's tough because you also have other areas of life. You've got your relationships, your marriage, your children, and all those kinds of things. Church, your religion, and all of those kinds of things are coexisting with this beautiful career of yours that you are building. And then, of course, you want to get to the top. You're dreaming of arriving at the apex levels, or you're already there. And then you are wondering, why do I constantly get overwhelmed?
No! God, please, no! No!
Why are my schedules constantly chaotic? And then how do I take control of the situations? So the first thing first is I tell people when I speak to them that you need to be an organized person. And if you are not, you need to get somebody to organize you, organize your flows, your time, and all of those kinds of things. A lot of people do those things these days. They have assistants and all of it. But God helps you. If your assistant erroneously is somebody who is also not organized themselves, then of course you'll be in a mess. So it's important, despite the fact that we all want to work with assistants and all of those kinds of things, it is also very important and it's critical that as a leader, one of the biggest attributes you should possess is the fact that you are very organized, you are well put together, and you have a system in place for remembering things. I don't know what you want to call it, a calendar or whatever. But you just have to have a system in place. Why? You definitely cannot remember everything. There are so many things. There are a lot of things on your plate, and you might just, forget appointments, forget meetings, or even forget your lines or your plans of what you want to discuss in certain meetings. So you need to create a system that helps you, because that's the first thing. As a senior person, if you're unable to meet up with booked appointments, or you are overbooking and you can't deal, you're already messing up your system. So the first thing is you need to get properly organized. If you cannot do it yourself, get someone that is truly organized to help you sort those things out. Never make the mistake of getting a personal assistant or an assistant who themselves are not organized. You are going to be in a total mess. So that's the first step. The second one is the fact that you need to be ready. I tell people, you sit back and you say, oh, I have 16 people reporting to me. I have 50 people reporting to me, and you feel excited. That is a very big job. Trust me. The fact that, you need to look at people's reports, even if they're automated. As a first line manager, even as CEOs, you have people reporting to you. And you can't just deal with the fact, take your decisions from voice, like listening. You also have to look into documents. You have to read documents. You have to analyze documents. Now, if you are not well put together, how do you do these things? So it's not enough to be excited about big portfolios, to be excited about the fact that you're a senior person without knowing what it entails. So if you lead teams and you're unable to read their reports, you're already failing as a leader. Whatever level you are leading at, you must be able to read the reports that are submitted to you. You must be able to stay mentally present when you are meeting with your team. You need to sort of let go of other forms of distractions so that you can hear them properly to take decisions. Why? The biggest and most important job of a leader is decision taking. And you need to sort of grow yourself to the extent where you can take accurate decisions 80% of the times, and of course it's allowable on the other to be on the other side for 20%. And then of course, as a leader, you should be able to take responsibility even for the other 20% if things go wrong. Yeah, that is a good attribute, of being in leadership. So I speak to people that being a leader is a big thing. It's something that entails so much. Do not allow anybody deceive you. And before you can truly appreciate the fact that you're a leader, if you've been able to separate your existence from the position, trust me, you've just arrived. Which means do not get carried away. Do not be clouded with, the roles, the names, chief this, chief that, chief executive, chief financial officer, head of this, manager of that. Those things, they are, good things on the way of our career. But if you are able to understand what they truly mean, what you are supposed to be doing, and how you can separate yourself from those titles. Do not get carried away by the title, by the position. You will generally do better. You will put in more human feelings to your interactions. You will be more humane, for lack of a better word here, because you will not see yourself unnecessarily feeling, on top of people. It's important that as leaders, you have the capacity to be humble. Humility, it's key, it's golden, and it goes a long way to help your people to sort of, come together and value you and appreciate you more. You don't think, because you are the CEO or you are the CFO or you are the human resource manager or whatever, and then, other people mean absolutely nothing. It's wrong for you to get carried away with the titles, the positions, or the perks of office, but rather focus on work and ensuring that you are delivering to the people. I think it's better for you to see yourself as the person serving the people. The moment you can arrive at that kind of mindset, you get better results. Also, yes, talking about, what a day would usually look like for busy executives, starts with planning. Like I said, ensure that yourself, you're organized, or get somebody to organize you. Ensure that, you put in the work, you're able to connect in real life with their reporting systems and with the people. You are also able to come to the level of people by being humble so that people can gravitate towards you. If your people reporting to you gravitate towards you, it's easier for you to connect, and then you generally come out to churn out better work. And another thing is you need to master the art of delegation. You need to be able to delegate, and trust me, when you delegate, it doesn't mean you put an end to it. You still need to check. So do not delegate and ignore. Delegate and keep tabs. Keeping tabs doesn't mean you're micromanaging, but it simply means that you are still in the loop. When you work with people these days and they get the inclination that you are often not in the loop, trust me, you are failing as a manager, you are failing as a leader. It's important that the people reporting to you see it, feel it, be aware of it, and confirm it that you are constantly within the loop. You are constantly within the value chain. You know what is going on and all of those kinds of things. Yes, you need to be able to depend on, people as time goes on. You need to be able to begin to shelve some of your pressures to other people. That is what growth should be. However, ensure that you are involved. Your people need to know that you are involved. That's what gives you the stamina, the strength to be seen as their leader in the first instance. So being involved in delegation, that after delegation, knowing what is going on, checking to say, can you give me an update? Are you happy to give me an update next week about the project? You can just call me on WhatsApp or just give me a ring. You don't necessarily need to send me a mail because I know the project is for a month, but I would like to hear or know what you've done in the initial 2 weeks. Is that okay? Are you happy to do that? That simply means that, they would work quickly, and then they definitely do not want to mess things up. So they will give you some nice results. And then when you are reviewing, you can say, can you adjust this a little? Can you move that a little? And then generally you get better outcomes doing that. So those are some ways to get, going with chaotic systems, chaotic days. Don't just take yourself out and throw out the chaos on the team. The team needs to know that you are part of the chaos. You are feeling them. You are not just dumping stuff on them. And that way you all come together and then you are able to take down the pressure. That is how I approach it. I don't just leave people to run around. I check on them. I check on my team. I sort of, call to say, oh, what is going on? What are you doing? What have you done? Do you need support? Do you need help? Always offer support. Do not sit up there and assume that, you are this or you are that. Get to interact with your people. Ask them where they need support, where they need help. And then let them feel free to be able to reach you when they are stuck, when they feel concerned, when they feel challenged. And those things generally will help, to sort of manage the chaotic systems, or let me say chaotic days. And then when you hold meetings, I tell people, moving through career, you go for meetings 12 hours and all of those things. Yes, it could happen, but ensure, if you are the one leading the team, ensure that if you are going to hold long meetings, ensure that those meetings come out with substance, so that the people in the meeting, your team, would also know, value, and understand when you call for such meetings. And of course, try as much as possible not to make it like overwhelming. Let it be properly planned. Ask about how comfortable it is for people. Don't be rigid about it. Yes, every organization has their systems, but then, allow some level of flexibility so that you can accommodate and support people and all of those kinds of things. Ensure that each meeting you have, even the shorter ones, have substance in them. And how will your meeting have a substance? Of course, you need to ensure there's an agenda. You need to ensure there's a process. You need to have put down the rules ahead so that everybody can come in and they can comply. And then you don't come into meetings that are not put together, that are not arranged, and there's a lot of confusion going on and all of those kinds of things. Doing these things will go a long way to put down the chaotic, activities going on in the everyday work systems. Thank you very much, guys, for listening.